Nerdrotic.com.
I'll just keep it going. I need a minute. Hey, what's up, everybody? God, I need to find a way to make that longer. What's going on? Gay. That's right, Leighton Gay. Hey, what's up, Big Raj? Thank you for the Canadian peso $1.99. I don't know what a peso cent is, but I can't think of it right now. I was up late last night, so I'm kind of at about 75% because I was in Austin, Texas, fighting zombies. No, I was watching Shatner be amazing, be a fucking legend. Oh, there goes my. I don't care if this gets demonetized. I don't care. I might have to beep that out later. Was that in the first 30 seconds? Maybe not. Shat was great last night. So let's say hi to you guys first. We have a new member. Wild Red 1905. Welcome. And this is the Nerdrotic Nooner. It's a solo Nooner. They are coming back. They are back. This one's gonna be a short one because I got to record a video. I feel inspired. Actually, I'm recording a couple today. One for daily too. About Tulsa King, which I really liked. Just Meek 2, Bastard, Krabby Patty, Andrew, Miss Nancy, Kenny Justice, Father Christopher Miller, saving all of our souls on a daily basis. Aga, George Boney 90, Dezek of the Dead, Jens Anderson of the blah, blah, blah. I can't say that. Bashy Washy, what's up? Dave Grimes, Slain Hope, Robert Hunter, and Radaslaw. Is that like coleslaw? I love coleslaw. It's really good. Bruce, what's up, Bruce? 11 Alpha, Gesture of Roanoke, Hail, Quinn, how's it going? John Gibson says, from one Charger fan to another. F. Dean Spanos, how do you like the team now, Los Angeles? That was vintage Chargers. I was laughing my ass off. I was just like, oh, they can have them. You can bloody have them. After 50 fracking years or 40 plus years of that stuff, I was like, enough. To hell with the NFL. I like having my Sundays free. I poke in once in a while, and yeah, I watch because my son's a fan, but I was just laughing my ass off. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a team snatch this team, the Chargers, snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Enough sports ball talk. Brian Kadershaw, what do you got to say there, pal? For $10, it says, today on this day of days is my birthday. Happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. I'm sure he's looking down on us. Just going, nobody listen to me. Content of character. And what is that statue? Poor guy. In Austin, fighting the homeless. Oh, those were homeless. Wild Red 1905 for $5. I thought they were zombies. It reminded me of San Francisco. What's up, Gary? Glad Az isn't here to talk over you. Oh, stop. Get wrecked, Redcoat. That's right, Redcoat. You damn limey Kiwi. You see the new Image, the comic Junkyard Joe. I've only read the first issue, but I feel like First Blood meets Iron Giant. I haven't, but I'll check it out. Powered Toast Man for $20. I haven't. What I have seen, well, most of, because I was up late and I didn't start watching it until it was too late, so I couldn't finish it. But I've watched most of The Last of Us first episode up until the last 10 minutes, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Now, of course, T. Louie. Never played T. Louie. Never played T. Louie 2. Don't intend to. Have no intention of ever playing these games because the guy who wrote and the guy who like was pretty respected up until he tried to destroy some of my friends' channels because he knew the sequel to his story to subvert expectations would piss everybody off. Can't wait till that rolls around in the series. We'll see how that goes, but I did see the first episode. As always, I shoot straight, tough but fair. I thought it was pretty good. And we'll see how it goes though, because I am not the biggest fan of zombie stories where people are just horrible to each other all the time. Kind of been through that with Walking Dead, and it got tiresome. It got really tiresome. So we'll see. But like I really like that opening. Wow, that was good. What's weird, because there's a synergy in life. Shatner was talking about that last night, the mycelia network, and not for Star Trek Discovery. Mycelia, whatever the fuck it's called. But he was talking about that because he was just, Shatner's getting old. He's 91. By the way, sharpest 91-year-old I've ever seen. Like, he was funny, on point, but he was, he's reflecting on his life, right? He's at this point where he's like really reflective on his life. He got towards the end, he got in some hippie environmental shit that I kind of ignored. But he was talking about how trees are connected to the fungi and and that's what he's talking about. He was talking about it in like a really beautiful way, how we're all connected in nature and everything. But then I see this and I'm like, oh shit, is that the universe talking to us? But I know they changed some stuff from the games. I never played the games and never will play the game. And I, fuck Neil Druckmann, for trying to cancel my friends. But the show was good. Like, it's really good. It's solid. There is like one little moment where you think it's going woke, but and okay, when I get into spoilers, I'll talk about it because I'll debunk what the guy said in the beginning about what if the planet gets warmer. Well, it has many times, many times recently. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed what I saw, and I can't wait to go back and watch the last 10 minutes. So I was like, damn, this is good. Really, the buildup in the beginning was great. I don't know anybody's name. I know Joel, Ellie, and that's it. And Fireflies. And Gabriel Luna's in it, and he's pretty good in it. And yeah, it's really good. So we'll get to that in just a second. I'm also going to talk about Velma. I don't think I'm going to do a video on Velma. I've got it'll be part of my next video. I was going to do just a Rings of Power video, and then it turned into kind of a bigger subject, bigger picture kind of stuff. So I was like, that's what happens sometimes. It's still mainly Rings of Power. And no, I did not think I was going to be doing another Rings of Power until like they get shut out for the Emmys or something like that, which could very well happen. They, the Critics' Choice Awards that Don Lemonless was up for, he did not win. Oh. So sorry. So sorry that they did not win. I'll also briefly talk about Tulsa King because I watched that. I binged it with my wife and really like that too. But Velma is really on brand for woke Hollywood. So we're in this transitional period of it's going to get really, really effing bad. Hopefully we'll just get more good shows. That's all we ask for. But there's still a lot of crap. Oh, and Ant-Man. I don't know how much I can talk about this, but Ant-Man did go through some reshoots for sure. Like lots. which is easy when you're sitting there acting in front of a screen all the time. And in that last trailer, you could tell that they definitely took out all the Marvel humor, but apparently they're putting more in to what was supposed to be a serious film, which I would have much rather had. But we'll talk about that as well. And Ezra, our pal Ezra, I do have to briefly later in the live stream when we can talk about the protected class on YouTube, not on YouTube, how he got away with something I didn't. Very, very similar circumstances. Very similar circumstances. Very different result. So we'll talk about privilege. But yeah. Oh, MODOK looks like Shiza. Is it George Lopez? It should have been George Lopez. No, there's a way you could have done MODOK really fun. Kind of like they did in the Snyder Cut. Granny Goodness and Darkseid. That's ridiculous character that they made look badass. There's a way you can do it. But they didn't, which is too bad. We saw Warlock today too, who just looks like Will Poulter in generic superhero costume. That doesn't look like Warlock. Has a very distinctive look and color, and they mute everything. I just don't like how they mute. Like, oh my God, we can't have yellow. Why not? You've got a guy with a gold skin, but you can't have yellow for some reason. So I'll show you, if you don't know, I'll show you a picture of Jim Starlin's Warlock compared to the very muted, dusty looking generic 3D printed superhero costume that he's in. I love the character. It's too late to bring him in, quite frankly. You should have had him in a long time ago because he's pretty important to the Infinity Gauntlet. Not so much anymore. But you know what? Guardians of the Galaxy is probably going to be the one good movie from Marvel this year because it's a holdover. There you go. Tulsa King's the shit. Tricky for $10. I sat on watching Tulsa King for weeks. So did I. Just binged the entire series last night. Forgive me for the binge. Don't. It's all right. It's okay to binge it. Well, for one, it just ended on January 5th because it was released weekly, and now everybody can binge it. But it already has a season 2. This guy Taylor Sheridan, I guess, just shits out TV shows that people like now, and good for him. Amazing. Loved it. Can't wait for season 2. I can't either. It's really good Stallone. It's just really good Sylvester Stallone. It's in the same, I would say, tone as Reacher. It's not like, I would say that Terminal List is a very serious show. Very, very serious, good, well-written show. Reacher's kind of fun, procedural. Some wacky things happen, but whatever, that's what Tulsa King is. Because a lot of stuff happens where everybody would have been arrested in the first episode. But, it's fish out of water, banished mobster versus biker gang who gets hooked up with weed dealer, like legal weed dealers and a dispensary, sorry, not dealers, and extortion and betrayal. And it's really good. I like it. I really like it. All right. I guess we'll start with Last of Us because I'll watch it again so I catch all the names. I usually do this with all reviews, but I just watched the first hour and 5 minutes. It's an hour and 28-minute episode, I think, with credits, so I only missed a few minutes. And I'm not going to get into heavy spoilers because, quite frankly, I'm just figuring out what's going on. I know they changed a lot of things from the game, including the spores or something like that. Again, never played the game, but I thought the way they explained how the zombies, whatever they are, was really cool. They used that ant, that zombie ant that was discovered. They use the mycelium. Is it mycelium network? Fungus. The infected. They're called the infected. Okay. The fungus. I thought that whole opening was brilliant. It was like in 1968. Yeah, there's a guy from Silicon Valley in it too. Big Head is in it. He's the host. And I thought that whole opening just like really set. That was fucking good. That was that was brilliant, and that set the tone. We go to 2003, and Joel's there with his very diverse daughter, and she's pretty good. Like, she's good, and he's in construction. Just kind of living by the seat of his pants. In Austin, Texas, which is weird because we just drove through Austin and San Marcos last night. It's weird because I lived in San Marcos, California for a long time. And now I live near San Marcos, Texas. But yeah, so what they slowly do without over explaining with a bunch of exposition is give you little hints. Something's wrong. Like, first you hear something on the radio that's going on in Jakarta. Then you see some jets flying over, and then it's like, and then she goes to Joel's daughter goes to a store because it's a birthday, tries to get a watch fixed, and then the store closes early. They just say go home. I love that. And you just see from their perspective how things just start falling apart, and then it just goes completely sideways. And then they do a time jump, and we are in 2023 in a walled off Boston. And I'm not going to tell you who dies or lives or anything, but it was pretty good. I thought the performance is pretty good. Pedro is a complete asshole, but I think he's really overrated as an actor, but he does a good job in this. I think he's good. I don't think he gets a lot of roles these days. He just gets a lot of roles. Thought he was good as Oberyn Martell. Very good as Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. But yeah. So I think they set up the premise pretty damn well. The characters are interesting. There's no overt woke cringe. Yeah, there's a girl boss, and I think that's Joel's wife. I don't know. I didn't know any of their names. Part of the Fireflies, which is the La Resistance, to the Federales, or the whatever the feds are called, because it's a military dictatorship in walled off cities. So I mean, it's pretty natural that there would be a resistance, but like, even the resistance are like, we kind of suck. We kind of suck. And apparently, I know a little bit about the game from watching on my friends' videos that resistance kind of sucks too. So, but it looks like your typical Hollywood resistance members. So, like, they're idealized resistance, not the one that would really be around. But aside from that, like, minor gripes as somebody who just comes in completely cold, I thought it was good. Gonna watch it next week. Am I gonna do like live reviews afterwards? We'll see how the second episode goes. So this will be my live review for the first one, and which I would have probably done last night, but I was out late. Got to see Wrath of Khan for the 200th time, and it never gets old. And then an hour of Shatner talking about the movie and life and going to space. And it was great. So if you get a chance to see William Shatner, the tickets, like, there's VIP tickets that are ridiculous, but if you just want to see him live, I think it's like $60 per ticket. I think he's still in Texas for a little bit. I think there's one more show, but if he's around, go see him. I don't know if you're going to get another chance, but he seems pretty spry. He's walking around. He wasn't being helped or anything. Let me tell you what. He seems way more alert than Patrick Stewart. I'll say that right now. Way more alert, but that's always been the case. Oh, you just saw him 2 days ago. Yeah, he's freaking good. And I don't know, it really did seem like none of this was rehearsed or planned. It was all, there was a guy interviewing him, and Shatner said, "Don't tell me any of the questions. I'll just respond to anything." They didn't talk about George Takei. I think they were gonna approach that subject, and then they veered away. The one thing that was asked by the guy was, for one, when Shatner was introduced, the woman said the original Captain Kirk, and I almost, like, if I could throw my chair, I would have, but I couldn't because it was attached to the ground. I'm like, no, there is only one Captain Kirk. The other ones are pale, ridiculous. They don't exist. There's one Captain Kirk. He is played by William Shatner. That is it. So later on, the guy asks him, so did any of the previous, for one, Shatner said, "Ask me any question, and if I don't like it, I'll just ignore it." So the guy goes, "Okay, well, there's a lot of people who played Captain Kirk too. Have any of them approached you on how to, go about the role?" And he's all, "Anyway, I was in Midland, Texas last night." So he just, yeah. No, the answer is no. They haven't come to talk to him. No wonder why they suck. So yeah, that was good. I thought that was a good setup. Enoch Maman, abuser of Streamlabs, thank you for the super sticker. I greatly appreciate it. But as far as what I've seen from Last of Us, back to Last of Us, again, see Shatner. If you $60 it's a lot of money to see Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan, but you get to see Shatner afterwards, so I think it's worth it. Took my wife because she's I'm a pretty big Star Trek fan, but she's more of a Star Trek fan. So yeah, she was really excited. We had a good time. We saw some members of the Fellowship there. Hail. So that was cool. Running into some people, shaking hands, saying what's up. Austin, very beautiful city from a distance. I took a picture of the downtown. Lots of homeless people, like lots. I'm like, oh, it is like San Francisco. Okay. They weren't over exaggerating. I was at the Long Center, which is coincidentally Mahler's Texas home, the Long Center. And it was nice. So we had a good time. Back to The Last of Us, though. I can recommend you watch it if you want to watch it. I have HBO Max has some really good shit on it, and it's got some garbage, but at least they're putting out some good stuff, unlike Disney Plus. So I haven't canceled my HBO Max because for one, Venture Brothers is on HBO Max. Classic Doctor Who, well, not classic, the neo classic is on HBO. I watch a ton of stuff on HBO Max. So yeah, and don't watch Velma. Watch Venture Brothers. Don't waste a minute on Velma. Watch Venture Brothers if you haven't watched Venture Brothers. If you want to see animated parody done right, that's funny, that's done with some reverence, that's written by intelligent human beings with actual talent, you watch Venture Brothers, one of the greatest shows ever created. Venture Brothers. And Hot D is on there too. Yeah, I can't miss Hot D. And the Snyder Cut, which I liked for what it was. Diversity inclusion for all. I am a big X-Men fan and would really like to see X-Men Origin series with the 60s team: Iceman, Marvel Girl, Professor X, Cyclops, Angel. How do you feel about that? I would love it. If that, I want Fantastic Four in the 60s. That's what I want. And then, you can pull them, you could have them. My old co-host and I plotted a Fantastic Four movie 6 years ago. And yeah, we say they start out in the 60s, they get trapped in the negative zone for 2 days, and they come out and it's 2020 or whatever like that, or 2016 at the time we were doing this. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. But now that they screwed up Namor and they'll screw up Silver Surfer, who will probably be played by Leslie Jones. Yeah. Enoch Maman, abuser of Streamlabs for $10 says, I predict The Last of Us will be like WandaVision. Good first couple of episodes, then slowly seeping wokeness will boil up and take over the show. I know how this works. Not interested. Yeah, I think Enoch Maman, the only thing I'll slightly disagree with you on is I think they'll wait till the second season and they'll go Westworld. But you could be right. You could be right. So that's why I'm not like diving in yet. But what I saw so far, it was a good start. It was a good start. But I mean, you know, I'm sure this will get really good ratings. But the question is like, I don't know, man. The only thing that's in the back of my mind, and it's not necessarily this show's fault, is I'm just tired of postmodernism and dystopias and post-apocalyptic where everybody's in rags and blah, 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 you know. I think we need something far more interesting than that. You know, that's why I always harken back to The Fifth Element, which had some dystopia in it, but it also had, you know, it felt more like a future, like an actual future with some silliness in it for sure. But yeah, it was like a mix of it preceded the movie, but it's like a little bit of Idiocracy with Blade Runner with like a superhero. Halfit for $5 says, I sent you an email with a few fossil photos from Alaska for your new Frontier Steam. By the way, yes, Forbidden Frontier. I got to make sure nobody's used it. So it's not totally official yet, but we're working on it. Hope you saw it. Love the Witcher 3 stream. Hail. Yes. How do you do, fellow gamers? On Nerdrotic Live, I have my second Witcher 3 stream, in case you missed it. It's riveting. It's riveting stuff. I walk off a cliff in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game and die. But yeah. Hail, Gary. Hey, I hear you're going to be in my town, Lubbock, Texas, for Alien Con. Saw Shatner last Friday here. He was amazing. Yes, I'm going to be there this Sunday with Garrett. We're going to doing some research for Alien Con. You know who was in Austin last night? Because I know because he put a picture up. Jimmy Corsetti from Bright Insight. I wonder if he's going to go on Rogan again. But like I was standing at the Long Center, like right in front of the skyline of Austin, and I see Jimmy Corsetti posted like a picture where he's like a little closer, and I'm like, holy shit, he's here. What's he doing here? Oh, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. That would be my guess. Gary, did you watch RRR? If so, what are your thoughts about it? I have not watched it yet. I got to watch it with my wife. So that's going to be, well, it can't be today. My schedule got filled up. We had some guests. We had some house guests. So because I am self-conscious, I don't usually record videos with house guests because they can hear me recording. So it's stupid. But I mean, this is pretty soundproofed in here, but no. So I sat down and had my little notebook and I wrote my video all day, and it turned into I don't know, it's not 30 minutes long, trust me. But it just turned into something else. But I will watch it. I will watch it before I talk to Gore on Wednesday, because that's what I'm going to talk to Gore about. But yeah, I'm going to Alien Con next Sunday. But thank you, Dummy Test, for 400 yen, by the way. Thank you, Dummy Test. And yeah, check us out on the Nooner on Wednesday. I'll have my thoughts. I will have my thoughts. Let's go. Oh, I want to show this off a little. Oh, no. Oh, wow. The critics, it's really going up there. It's really going up there. It's on my my portrait screen, so that's why it's like that. Okay, just deal. I don't know if I could. No, that didn't work. That works a little better, doesn't it? Ew, a little choppy. What's going on? Good God, hang on. That might help. It should not be this choppy, especially with I have fiber, man. Fiber. All right, so Velma is still at 7%. Of course, it's being review bombed by the haters. I forgot who it was. Somebody pointed out on Twitter. It was Ryan. It was my baby boy Ryan pointed out that there were 2,000 positive reviews on The Last of Us prior to the show even coming out. Now, it's good, but that's review bombing. And you know who does that? You know who does that? You know who does that? The studios. The studios and their marketing department. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, studios. Prove me wrong. You have been review botting the whole time. One of your studios made up a fake critic. So why wouldn't you have your marketing team silently, maybe have a third party contractor, get some bots to positively review and go after people on Twitter? Why wouldn't you? Because, well, you would. It would be in your interest. You want to make money off that. It would be a very small investment compared to what you could possibly make by discrediting the critics. No, I don't think some dude in his spare bedroom is creating a bunch of new accounts. I don't think they're spending any money. I think there's just a lot of people who really freaking hate this show. I've seen it. It's bad. It's really bad. It's on brand for woke Hollywood. It is woke Hollywood to the bone. To the bone. And I understand what Mindy Kaling was trying to do, and she did not achieve what she set out to do, which was try to lean into some of this stuff, but not super hard. Not super hard. And try to have it both ways. And look what's happening to her now. She's a phobe of some kind. I don't know much about her. I think she is as mediocre as it gets. And I mean, good on her for getting this much mileage out of a really, really mediocre career. But I mean, Hollywood is filled with a lot of mediocre talent and subpar talent that's getting a lot of work now. That's not really based on their talent now, isn't it? I mean, the host for the Golden Globes came out and said it himself. He got the job because he was black and he just took the white man's money. And good. I mean, good. And thank you for being honest. And you know why he didn't get a lot of laughs from the crowd? Because they all fucking knew that, oh shit, this is how half of us got our jobs. I mean, aside from the other half who was just, sucking some dick to get a job. But let's take a look. Let's see what the people have to say, shall we? Oh, fuck the critics. Can you? Oh, you can't see that. So we're gonna have to make it smaller. We'll have to make me smaller. Yeah, I could fix it. Boom. Let's see. What do the top critics have to say? Not many people. Yeah, for one, okay, good for Richard Roper. Jokes become exhausting in the meta, not for kids Scooby-Doo sequel. I'm sick of irony and meta. It's, for one, it's been done. Like, Hollywood loves to think that we are breaking ground and doing all this shit was done in the early 1900s. People were sick of irony then. So, Mora, AJ, half star. For sure, the worst thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Torturous and comically repulsive. Cringeworthy comedy. A new low for adult cartoon, says Jonathan S. I would say, there shouldn't be that many adult cartoons. I'm not against them. They're fine. But they have to be like really, really good, or I don't know. It ends up being, I was never a Steven Universe guy or BoJack Horseman. That seems to be very Tumblr to me. So I never got into that shit. Venture Brothers? Hell yeah. Metal. Andrew L. for half star. Just terrible and shame to the Scooby IP. Well, I mean, Scooby's not in it. So no Scooby-Doo. Horrible camo ear. Oh, all right. That's yeah, I can't even read that. The official G for half. This show represents everything wrong with the modern remake. The show is so bad it makes She-Hulk look watchable. No, it ain't gonna. No. It is so bad you would think Disney Plus released it. Yes, absolutely. Great take there. The official G. No, that wasn't me. Okay, it wasn't me. It does feel very. Yeah, it's in this. It's absolutely in the same vein as She-Hulk. And Santa Inc. It's like from the makers of Santa Inc. and She-Hulk comes Velma. Gidges V. It's just not funny or clever. Don't know who the show was made for. You would have to be really jaded and annoying person to really enjoy this show. Yeah, you are a mid-level talent. No, you're a mid-level person employed based on other things than your talent, making something for people who are working in the entertainment industry based on something else than their talent. I put up a clip. I can't now because maybe I won't care. I put up a clip of, we showed it on Friday Night Tights, of the little parody from Venture Brothers. And there's more of the Groovy Gang, which in a minute and a half has more laughs than the entire series of Velma and is more clever. And they do something fun with Scooby. Yeah. Yours is a sword of Michael. Movie Long C for 1 star. What in the heck did I just watch? This is in the poorest taste possible, in the spirit of all things Scooby-Doo. I mean, some things you shouldn't go kink on, and this American classic is one of them. It reminded me of the Scrooge Bill Murray character, who was trying to make it in a terrible remake of a classic Dickens tale. I love Scrooge, sorry. His has to be tasteless version on the set. Yes. Oh, his remake within it. Okay, gotcha. So you're liking the movie, but like the tale within the movie. I catch up eventually. Then I agree. Dickens' Tale. This was to be the tasteless version on set. Yes, this reminded me of that in real life. Oh, it's a good take. Sebastian C. for a single star. This is pathetic. People who wrote that show should be sued for emotional harm. Unknown B for a half star. There are ways to make a mature version of Scooby-Doo and the gang, and it's not this. Just watch Mystery Incorporated or Zombie Island. The writers clearly didn't care about the IP, and it's just another Halo/Witcher situation. It's a self-insert. It's a way of Mindy Kaling putting herself, because she is a vapid narcissist, an unfounded belief in her case, because she's not worth that much attention. Adam J, not even worth watching the first 10 minutes. It was brutal, and I didn't watch the second episode, and I'm not going to. Philip R for half star. It's trying too hard to be funny while being completely tone deaf. The show could have been great, but it's worse than the opposite. It's worse than the opposite. Not worth any time, and should probably be a career ending for the writers as well as the cast who agreed to perform the script. Agreed. Do something better with your time. Watch paint dry. Oh my. It's getting destroyed and it'll be forgotten. And I honestly, I think it was just too far along. And they just, here, let's put it out. And if we get something out of it, great. All right. If we get something out of it, fantastic. If we don't, well, there'll be a lot of good YouTube videos. Drinker put out a good one. Everybody's put out a good one. Jankies, that show sucks. Yes, it does. It does. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna get hit anyway. So let's watch something entertaining, shall we? Give me just a mo. Hope you're all having a wonderful Martin Luther King Day. I hope you decorated your Martin Luther King tree and are just are judging people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right. Where am I? There we go. They're gonna hit me for this again, and I don't care because I love this clip so much. I don't give a crap. Boom, 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 boom. All right, you ready for some fun? Yours is the field of blood. That's so good. An Aquaman for $20 says a skunk sat on a stump. The skunk thunk the stump. Skunk? Oh, fuck you. All right. The skunk sat on a stump. The skunk thunk the stump stunk, and the stump thunk the skunk stunk. There, I did it. Brent Wolf for $20 tagged you and QBG on the Twitter after the Frontier stream with a link to an Aussie doing a pretty good breakdown of the evidence for the Australian tsunami from the Indian Ocean impact. It is 1 hour. Yeah, I'll check it out. It is 1 hour compilation of 3 earlier vids. Oh, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, that's from Randall. Yeah, in my spare time, I go over Google Earth and look for evidence of flood and tsunamis and stuff because I'm weird. Oh, Jermukinus for $10. Salve, citizen, salve. Keep fighting the good fight. I will do my best. I like it when we can just sit here and just bullshit in front of a microphone and it doesn't become an actual fight. That would be my preference. I'm 24, and 2 years ago, I started to get into comics. Invincible was the first full series I read. Now I just got Watchmen, and it's amazing. Also, there is one good thing about Rings of Power was that I found you. Indiana Solo for $10. That's a nice thing to say. Cheers. Steve Watson for 10 British pounds. Proper money. Is this forthcoming Ant-Man movie with the same actor as the first two? The humor of those, I think, makes them. Why would you want to think a serious version of the character story would be better? Because we've done the humor. For one, the Wasp and Ant-Man, the second one, sucked. It's not a good movie. It sucks. The only thing that's good is the very last bit when they disappear. But it was the start of the MCU. I think Marvel humor, to the detriment of Paul Rudd and Ant-Man, has run its course. I think it's I know it's turning people off. Look at the reaction to Thor: Love and Thunder. So do you want more Thor: Love and Thunder? A bunch of stupid Disney jokes in front of a bunch of gobbledygook on your screen? Well, apparently this had a more serious tone, which amped up Kang, who needs to be amped up because Kang's a freaking silly villain. He's a silly villain from the comics. He's not anywhere near he's like, I don't know how you do your tiers, all the kids today. So I'm going to say he's like a C+ villain. He's very mid. He's no Doctor Doom. He's no Galactus. He's no Thanos. for sure. No Green Goblin. So you need to do something to make him utterly dangerous, scary, like life-threatening, and quite frankly, where do you go from here after you got a guy who can just rewrite time? Mephisto would have been a great villain to bring in, and you know where they're going to bring him in? Ironheart. And Ironheart's going to defeat Mephisto. Yeah. R.I.P. MCU. R.I.P. So yeah, I think they definitely need a film with a serious tone. Now, maybe you switch your slots out. I don't know, but the next two movies before Guardians are Quantumania and The Marvels. I repeat, Quantumania and The Marvels, and it's much more likely that Quantumania will be the more successful film. I think, even as based on what I've heard, is there is a good film in there that Marvel fucked up. That's what I've heard. And The Marvels will be shit. Can't wait. Can't wait. And Guardians will essentially, in the Guardians, James Gunn will be gone. And that chapter, because it's a holdover. The script was written a couple years ago. So it's a holdover. And it's probably not even going to fit tonally with what we've seen. Well, there is no tone to the MCU. There's no tone, there's no theme, there's no cohesion, there's no plot thread. It's just a bunch of spackly, gooey CGI thrown against the wall. Man with a gun in his hand. But thank you for the super chat. You have right to your opinion, but a silly Ant-Man movie in the for one, Ant-Man is a silly superhero. I've never been a fan of superheroes who get small. I'm not an Atom fan and I'm not an Ant-Man fan, but I became one when I saw Edgar Wright's footage at Comic-Con. I was like, holy shit, that's what you can do. But here's the problem. It's about, contrast. It's about this little Ant-Man with the strength of a big man fighting the big man, and it gets kind of funny. But if you're the little Ant-Man in the little universe with a bunch of little other people, what's so special? You're just a guy in a super suit. Oh, he can become Giant Man now. But he's not giant. He's still Giant Man in the little universe. And the thing I freaking loathed about the Wasp and Ant-Man, no, I'm getting the title right. It's the Wasp and Ant-Man, is like he was a buffoon throughout his entire movie, and his suit was malfunctioning. But you know what? Like, Ant-Man had one of the better parts in Endgame. A very messy movie, which I like. I don't like, actually. But like the best part was Ant-Man getting out, waking up, seeing his daughter 5 years later. That was cool. Looking for the names and shit. That was probably my favorite part in the movie. Dan Vasc, Brazilian whale bone owner, acceptable man bun. Only acceptable man buns. Dan Vasc, samurai. Hope I'm understood. Only acceptable man buns. Dan Vasc and samurai. If Dan Vasc is a samurai, that is still acceptable. Gary, contact your prison buddies and get me to the U.S. Dude, just get in a van, drive to the southern Texas border. I'll be there to pick you up, pick up your phone from the government, pick up your money from the government. You won't need a shot. You won't need the jab. They'll just let you on in. And I'll pick you up from there. I'll pick you up from there. Speaking of prison buddies, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, real quick. Ezra Miller pleaded guilty to second-degree burglary. It's second degree because nobody was there. Stealing alcohol, was on camera. But remember, he's got other stuff going on. So if this was his very first crime, yeah, he would get off with probation. Yes. But he has priors. He has stuff that's been swept under the rug. That's the shit we know about. He has been on a crime spree. He has assaulted women. In the Me Too era, he's assaulted women. Then he burglarizes a house, gets caught on camera, and gets nothing. Gets a slap on the wrist. All right, my first burglary, first time I got like really arrested and really in trouble, I broke into a house to get some. Okay, I was really young and dumb as opposed to being old and dumb. I was really high, and I wanted to get some booze, and there was a big water bottle. They weren't plastic back in the day; they were glass, full of pennies. I'm like, well, shit, there's some drug money right there. So I took that too. It's like a couple $100, right? I lost a year of my life to that. And I had one misdemeanor prior that. They locked my ass up for a year. 365 days in the county jail. Well, 364. Because anything over a year, you go to prison. So the judge sentenced me to 364 days. And don't ask if it's a leap year. I don't know. That's just what they do. Yeah. So Ezra Miller, part of the most privileged class on the planet. Anybody else gets busted, they're going away. They're at least going to do a month, or they're going to do some work camp shit or whatever. He is going to get locked up because he's got a movie coming out, a very expensive movie. So our system is bullshit. It's always been bullshit. And it's always been classist, elitist, money. Doesn't really matter how you identify, because if somebody who identified as non-binary who wasn't Ezra Miller did the same thing, they go to jail too. Yeah. So it's about how much money you have. For lawyers, you usually get a dump truck like I did. They're called a dump truck, which is a court-appointed attorney who is some up-jump paralegal trying to get his hours. And they usually suck and do the minimum amount of work. It's messed up. I don't know what the answer is, because you don't let everybody go either. You just don't. We're finding that out in California too, because there are bad people out there. A lot of bad people doing very bad things. And I did a bad thing, and I should have been punished. I'm just saying he should have too. But of course he doesn't. So it just shows you, especially since I've been accused of having white privilege. Fuck off. I should have said when I was in the house, oh, I'm non-binary and totally gay. Except it was the 80s and they would have beat the shit out of me. So they would have. What's a non-binary? What's a non-binary? You know what? What were people going after me on Twitter yesterday? People. It's like 10. I don't care. Oh yeah. The girl who plays Ellie, Sydney Watson, put up something. And I put up a little Wicked Witch of the West cackling gif under her saying she's non-binary. Okay. Is it kind of mean? Yeah, it is. But some people got really upset. Oh my God, you're going after a teenager. Well, for one, she's an adult who identifies as non-binary. And I think she'll be okay because she didn't see the tweet. And when I was younger than her, a 60-year-old, he's like 50-year-olds going after a teenager, 60-year-old cop beat the fuck out of me with a mag light, broke my arm, and sent me to jail. I got over it. I think she'll get over a gif. Okay. TR for $5. Velma was breaded and intercepted. Was she unbreaded or breaded? I'm not sure. Floki the Mad for $1.99. Just got Shads and Drinkers books delivered today. I wonder if mine made it to the no, we're not getting mail today because it's Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Day. Mayor of Kingston season 2 started off incredible, says Hercules Hernandez for $1.99. I'm gonna watch it now. I'm absolutely gonna watch it. I'm gonna my wife's already dived into Yellowstone. I'm gonna watch the prequels first, and then I'll see if I want to jump into Yellowstone. But yeah, Taylor Sheridan, pretty good. Pretty good. There's typical Hollywood stuff in there, but it's not, like my tolerance is at 0 for woke shit. In Tulsa King, there's like 2 things, but they contrast it with Sylvester Stallone clowning pronouns. And it's a funny scene. It's a funny scene. So, and I like Badface. I hope they bring him back. For some reason, he disappeared in the final episode. They're like, God, I wish Badface was here. When you see Badface, you'll see. But yeah, Tulsa King. I'm gonna probably do a little, just a video for Nerdrotic Live. I can highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's fun. It's not groundbreaking in any way, shape, or form. It's just Stallone being Stallone, and it's fucking awesome. Man with a gun in his hand on the Streamlabs side for $10 says, hello, Gary. First time about The Last of Us. I know you're not a gamer. What? I'm a total gamer. All right. Neil Drunkman didn't write the story. That's right. He didn't. You're right. He's taken a lot of credit for it, but a woman wrote, I forgot her name, but she wrote most of the story and she left, right? Writer did most of the heavy lifting. He only wrote the poor DLC and of course sequel for the show. I'm not happy with changes. Peace. And as a, hey, I'm not going to blame you for that. I'm not going to blame you for that. One thing I absolutely tell you, we know where this show is going. And if it goes into Last of Us 2, it will be woke dog shit. It will be woke dog shit. It'll go full Westworld. I hope it doesn't. I hope they completely ignore Last of Us 2, but I don't think they will. They could whack Joel this season and treat it like Ned Stark. Absolutely. They could. Or they could do it next season, but Joel, spoilers, Joel's getting whacked with a 5-iron by a muscle-bound lesbian. Abby Smash! That's symbolism, if you didn't catch it. That's symbolism of the destroying the patriarchy with its weapon of leisure, a 5-iron. When I don't use a 5-iron that much. They are necessary at times. I'm a shitty golfer. But yeah. I'm usually using the sandwich. My dad, when we were golfing in Hawaii, would call me King Lava Lava because I would end up in the lava all the time. It's a cool golf course, though. I was destroying a beautiful golf course with my shitty play, but it's fun. Buford T. Justice for $19.99. Gary, some suggestions for the paranormal show. After Moon Theory, Neil Armstrong looking for lost civilizations after he went to the moon. Antarctica no-fly zone, and the Greys genetics breaking down alien-human hybrids. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I know everything you're talking about there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got big plans for that. It's probably going to be, it's going to be on Nerdrotic Live. Okay. It will be Nerdrotic Live. And it'll be a Rumble show as well, eventually, especially for, just feeling more free to talk about stuff. But, hopefully it seems like YouTube's backed off a bit on the UFO stuff and, ancient civilization, a bit. If you want to know, like, what the big picture is, why so many people are against the, particularly Randall Carlson and particularly Graham Hancock's ancient civilization theory, which is basically what the stuff that they're into, they didn't come up with. The impact theory. The impact theory from 12,000 years ago is a scientific paper that's in the works. There's hundreds of scientists involved now. It first came out, the cosmic impact theory, to end the Younger Dryas, or to start it. There was an abrupt starting, an abrupt ending, another abrupt starting, and another abrupt ending. They need to figure out what all that all happened within a couple of thousand years. Our climate just doesn't fricking do that. So something had to happen. Big old volcano, plasma from the sun, comets, asteroids, all of the above. Something had to do it. There's tons of evidence of flooding and stuff. And by the way, watch the Joe Rogan podcast with John Reeves from the Alaskan Boneyard. It will blow your effing mind. But the reason there's so much resistance is it destroys the climate change narrative. It obliterates it. So that's why, and by the way, the current climate change narrative is that there's climate change. Well, yes, absolutely. There's climate change. The climate changes all the time. If you go back and look 12,000 years, it's changed a lot. There's that medieval warming period. So in the beginning of Last of Us, this is all tying together. This is what frickin' Shatner was talking about, and he was wrong. In the beginning of The Last of Us, when they were talking about the fungi, the fungus, and it's about 6 inches under the ground, a foot under the ground. It's a network, but it can't survive over 94 degrees. The guy said. Now they could have just been making that up for the show. The Earth has been warmer, much warmer recently, geographically speaking. There's the thing called the medieval warm period, the Renaissance. Well, no, there was a warm period in the Renaissance, but the medieval warm period is when they started building all the cathedrals, 1300s or something like that. Go look into it. So the temperature does go like this all the time, just a little bit. Right now, we're cooling. We're actually cooling. California is getting flooded, and everybody's like, oh, the world is it. Dude, it does that every 7 years. Every 7 years, California floods. It rains like crazy, and then it stops raining for 7 years. It's 5 to 7 years, give or take. But, the system, the state, will use whatever they can to control you. Does it mean toss styrofoam out the side of your car? No, like Ron Burgundy. Recycle, do all that fun shit. Electric cars aren't the answer. Sorry. I worked for the company that made the best electric cars, and it's a step in the right direction. But we need to come up with that perpetual battery that doesn't require tons of acid, that can catch on fire and re-catch on fire and re-catch on fire and re-catch on fire. And they need to go longer. Randall Carlson might be working on something with the plasmoids that might be way more interesting. And I agree with Ryan, nuclear power. WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Hail. But no, I'm not for like mass hunting of. Do they do that still? I like whales. I like dolphins. I like animals. I don't want our country looking like shit. That's what's funny, when Patrick McKay tried to mix in the environmental mess. Like, we just want to do what Tolkien did with giving Mordor an origin in Mount Doom, because he talked about environmentalism. Although we work for Amazon, the one company on earth Tolkien would hate probably the most. SJ Almighty for £1.49. Thank you for the ice cream super sticker. I haven't had ice cream in a long time. It's probably good. 53. That shit just doesn't go away. Sophie for 11 pence says, hail chat, Gary and awesome mods. Gary and Doctor Who novels you recommend. Also, always trying to shout out my brother's gaming channel, Ablaze Immortal, trying to help him get to 3000. Love you all. I would recommend I'm looking over there because that's where I had it. What did I do with it? What did I do with it? I wanted to show it to you. I'll show you this way. There's an audiobook. Oh, I can't. Okay, Shada. Okay, it's by Douglas Adams. Shada is Douglas Adams' story that basically you'll see hints of Dirk Gently in it. It's very similar. So, City of Death, Shada, Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency have a very similar theme. Ancient alien being arrives on Earth in the primordial age. You know, there's strong variations, but like that little central theme is he rewrote that story like 3 times. So it's really good though. It's really good. Not Dirk Diggler, Dirk Gently and the Holistic Detective Agency, which is a great Douglas Adams book. Great book. Great book. The show was I liked the first season. I didn't like the second season, but the show was nothing like the books. Read the books. Douglas, find the audiobooks that Douglas Adams reads. They're the best. They are the best. Digby Strawbridge for 20 British pounds. Keep up the good work. Speak truth to shills. We used to have vineyards in the UK, the medieval period, which given our climate is great fun. Yes, you did. In the medieval warm period, you had wine. That's true. This is true. They also farmed on Greenland. They did till they couldn't anymore because it got too cold. Lord of Flatulence for $10. Pedo Peter picked a peck of pickled pecks. Shut up. I'm funny. Carlos loves nachos for $4. I like nachos too. Robert Wiles for $4.99. Sorry, it took me a long. I will ship your gift tomorrow. I was sick dealing with so much. I hope you like the gifts. Bless Gary. Robert, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Lord Photon for $10. Hail, please tell me you've seen the 90s movie PCU. Yes, hilarious. Called out all the nonsense nearly 30 years ago. And there needs to be another one. Yes. Carnage Undone for $5. Why do you destroy my Scooby-Doo? And let's go G-Men. Giants. That would be the Giants. Did they win? Did they beat the Vikings? Or G-Men in The Boys? I'm not sure. Bigwig Cthulhu for $10. Hail. I've been thinking about starting a channel, but I hate social media in general. If I just create a channel, created videos, and just relied on the algorithm, yes, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. There's a lot of very successful YouTubers who have. Rags does not have a Twitter. A lot of successful. You don't need Instagram and Twitter. So I do it because I want to. I want to be in the belly of the beast, poking at it. Just little pokes here and there. Just want to poke at the beast because it's fun. I find it very entertaining. Daryl Greer for $2. I said on Twitter you should do that video. I will. Based on the suite. Okay, which one? Because I'm going to do a Tulsa King video. That's on Nerdrotic Daily. I'm going to do that Rings of Power. Oh, yeah. There's the Halbrand and the Origin of Mordor. That's going to get mixed into my Rings of Power video with this crazy Swedish woman who doesn't like the bags under my eyes. We're going to do that. But there's a much, much, much bigger message in that article that has nothing to do with me. Zero to do with me. And everything to do with the media and you. And we caught that on the live stream when we were going over it. We're like, oh, there's such a better message in this. I mean, who gives a shit if some broad from Sweden writes an article about me. I don't who doesn't know shit about nerddom. And that's part of the problem is the access media. They're wading in the waters they know jack shit about. They just that's ultimately it's a bunch of failed journalism, majors who are in massive student debt, who have a lot of cats, and just thought it was easy because they bought a pop vinyl to get into nerddom because that's silly and dumb, and they just don't understand it. And they're not the only ones. No, there's some right-wing pundits who don't understand it either, to their detriment. To their detriment. There are some who are at least open-minded to it, which is good. That's a good change. People like Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson gets it. Drew Hernandez gets it. They get it. Dummy test for 200 yen. Is that yen? I think so. Thank you, Dummy Test. Watching Ezra Miller arrest footage was really funny. Dude straight up said, I'm non-binary. You can't search me and arrest the male police and arrest me with male police officers. Yeah. I mean, if there was video of my arrest, I wasn't sitting. It was probably pretty pathetic too, but not that pathetic. Because I think it was after my second one, I learned a very, very valuable lesson. Shut the fuck up. As soon as they walk up on you, lips are sealed. I ain't giving them a name. I ain't saying shit. I'll nod my head when they read my rights. Nevada Johnny for $5. Hail Gary, hail chat. Have you seen Alice in Borderland? And if so, what do you think? As liked it. I have not seen it, and I probably won't see it. Not my cup of tea, but I heard it's really good. King's Advisors for $9.99. I'm sorry to tell you, but Amazon is moving away from Jeremy Clarkson. Apparently, they really hated his Meghan Markle article. Clarkson's farm likely ending with season 3 and only 4 more grand tour specials. They didn't like his Meghan Markle article. Jeremy Clarkson's a legend, and if they move away from him, they're idiots. He'll find work somewhere else. I mean, he's getting up there. But Clarkson's farm is excellent. That's pretty much what I've been watching when I haven't been working is I've been just catching up on Grand Tour because I watched the first season, kind of just forgot about it. So I'm on to I did it backwards. So I'm on the season 2 now, and fuck, it's great. I miss those guys so much. And like, when are they going to do? I heard there was only one special in season 5. Are they doing? So is each special going to be a season, or? Yeah, who's that according to? Like Daily Mail? I mean, because Jeremy Clarkson says way worse stuff in the show. It's hilarious. It's freaking hilarious. I mean, you just got to watch it. I freaking love that guy. John Parson for $5. Fucking Meghan Markle. Just go away. Just go away. I mean, like the media, they love to hate people and she's obviously like an opportunistic. Fuck the royal family. I don't care. I love the Brits. I love the UK. I love the Queen Mum. Not a big fan of any of her offspring. I don't care. Just go away. John Parson for $5. Gary, when will Hollywood remake My Mother the Car? Pretty soon. Right after the all-female Saving Private Ryan or Saving Private Rihanna. Andrew Stoop for $10. Woke representation is artistic stagnation and desecration and demands total condemnation and eradication. We need anti-woke salvation. Thank you. Chris Persia for 5 Canadian pesos. Who needs The Last of Us? Which is now another generic zombie series after living through the past couple years, frack Hollywood's ineptitude. I really liked, I think this episode worked for me because it showed the buildup and everything, which, which was a lot like Walking Dead. You're like, ooh. And then it's just going to be, oh, it's just people being horrible to each other. Okay. And they're going to walk a lot. And they're going to be horrible to each other. Okay. And I'll be rooting for the zombies by the end. We'll see. Because that's where I got with Walking Dead. I'm just like, I hope everybody gets eaten. I hope they all get eaten. Pafarabi for $10. As someone not familiar with Ellie and the character, what did you think of Belle's performance? I thought it was fine. I've always thought she's rather mediocre actress. Wooden expressions, botched timing, etc. Her American accent was okay. It didn't stand out. Actually, I thought Joel's daughter was a better actress. I did. I thought she I don't want to ruin, but there's one particular scene she pulled off really good. So I thought the young lady who played Joel's daughter, I don't know her name, was better. But we'll see. We will see. It's got I was like, who is that chick? I recognize her. Oh, it's the Fringe chick. It's the chick. It's the lady from Fringe. I'm like, oh, I remember you. Pedro was fine. But I think what really set the tone was that little prologue was really good. I was like, that was good. So we'll see. Dude and dudettes, or just the general version of dude. Hollywood does not deserve they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Be as skeptical as possible. This shit could go woke next episode. They have earned your skepticism. They have earned your ire, and they deserve nothing. What they should be doing is more of what Babylon tried to do, but failed. What Tom Cruise did is, thank you for coming to our movie. We are here to entertain you. We are dancing clowns, and we understand that, but we try to be as good at it as possible. And if we give you that, brief moment of escapism where we take you to another world, entertain you, and through that entertainment, you start thinking about other things. That's great. That's our job. But story comes first. Story has to come first. I'd give my left foot for a Taylor Sheridan Punisher, says Daryl Greer for $2. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan. Yeah. Why not? It would be better than Disney Plus's The Punisher with water pistols and butter knives. Yeah. Matthew Hammond. I need a palate cleanser from bad shows. I've heard of this show based off a movie about going into other worlds, a Stargate to secure a technology to defeat alien parasites that take human hosts. Also, there are boobs in the first episode. Boobies. Okay, Matt. Okay, you got me. You got me with boobies for $10. Sorry, Gary, but geological record doesn't lie. It shows pineapple pizza killed the megafauna during the Pleistocene. That and something called an extinction level event. All kidding aside, keep up the great work. WG for $100. It was pineapple pizza. That's what made the zombies in The Last of Us. That would be funny. Thor's World for $20. Hail. I've been in film and TV industry for 10 plus years, working for 30 plus productions, including Marvel/Netflix. I plan on launching a channel which is why I'm leaving the industry behind. Video forthcoming. Any advice? Keep killing it. Thor's World. Just make that first video. That's your advice. It might be great. We can't all be Little Platoon or Disparu. Are you British? Maybe that'll help. You have a good British accent. But yeah, just go out there and make the first video. It's the process of just getting it done you're going to get savaged in the comments sections. You're going to get a bunch of dislikes. People are going to say you look funny if you go on a screen. If you don't, you're fine. And you'll find your way. Just make content and you'll find your way. I know it sounds like really basic, but that's what I did. And I watched a lot of YouTube. I learned a lot from watching a lot of YouTube. You get inspiration and ideas from very talented people, and it requires talent to do this stuff, I think. People might say it's bottom of the barrel talent, but those are the kind of people who typically say that about a giant meteor descending on them, which is what we are. That's why the access media is lashing out so much, because they know they're dead. These websites are going to get sold off. Watch Clownfish TV. They cover it the best as when it comes to access media websites, especially. They have a lot of knowledge having a website of their own. And like sites like Kotaku and Gizmodo and all that shit are just, they're irrelevant now. They're spitting out what look like AI articles at this point. I can't imagine like somebody at BuzzFeed making $50,000 a year. What? What? Now, if you're in San Francisco, that ain't much. But if you're in, Midland, that's probably all right. If you're in Oklahoma, if you're in Tulsa, that's probably all right. But they're in New York, right? One of the big cities. I mean, more than that, selling auto parts. Infu Ryu for 10 New Zealand dollars. The problem with the bad idea that humans weren't the greatest punch against large megafauna is that the extinction of the megafauna conveniently lined up with human migration. We are an apex predator. We are an apex predator, but there was also apex predators, other predators that were there that we killed too, that we didn't eat. Why is that? There was also millions more than us. It would take us forever. Also, hunter-gatherers weren't these dumb savages. They understood hunting and gathering. They understood not over hunting. And how does that explain the megafauna that was on the other side of the planet? So there's something not right. I mean, like humans killing a 20-foot ground sloth, sure. But were they wiping the shit out of short-faced bears and dire wolves and no. So, and also all of those other, the soot, the nanodiamonds, the impact proxies, all around the same time. And the mass migration wasn't that mass because there was the Clovis people were there before, and now we're finding out there were humans on in our hemisphere before. They all got wiped out too. The Clovis people were wiped out the same time the mammoths. So did the people who came through the land bridge and came through the little the theorized crack in the ice, kill all the Clovis people too. Now the thing is, it's very hard to find human bodies. Human bodies have to die in a certain way to find fossils or preserved. It's very, you got to die in mud, because usually we get picked apart, our bones get broken up into a million pieces, and the earth just handles it. So yeah, I think there's enough question to be looking into it. I think the overhunting one is dumb. I think it's just, I think it's a very easy way to stay in a paradigm. To stay in a narrative, sorry. Accident seller for 100 Norwegian krona, censoring Graham and Randall reminds me of the quote from Tyrion: when you tear out a man's tongue, you are not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. And the only thing Graham is saying is, look at this shit. Look at this stuff. Have you watched Out of Range on Prime? I have not. Great show and a lot of twists and very little woke casting and writing. It's a modern Western sci-fi elements. I will check it out, Gray. I'm having more time to watch stuff, just not today. But thank you, Gray, for $5. JDA for $5. Tulsa King is way better than it had any right to be. Agreed. That's exactly what I said to my wife. It has no business being this good. Like, this is a silly concept. I mean, it's a typical concept. Right? It's a typical concept, but that it just ended up being good. I killed Fritz for $10. What's the word on Zack Snyder post doing a Cobalt 60 movie? I don't know. I just know Rebel Moon is the next thing he's doing. I don't know about that. I'll look into it. Can you watch One Piece movie 6 as they will tell you if you might enjoy the series, please? I can, Monkey D. Garp, but that will be down the line. I have 3 videos to make, and one of them's a monster. A monster. A bit of a monster. Gary's evil Siamese twin for 10 British pounds. Which comic character would you take powers away or add or change to improve the character? I think the Submariner shouldn't be able to fly through the air and only move fast in the water. Okay. I never gave that much thought. Black Panther. I would take away all his powers. I would take away his mechanized suit. And make him just what he was before they retconned him. Just like a Batman. A badass Batman. Big Trouble in Little Vagina for 25 Rons said, I would rather die 100 times to a boss in Dark Souls game than watch a single episode of Velma. It's bastardized beyond recognition. It's pretty terrible. And I will not watch it again. Hail Gary Nerdrotic, have you seen Pale Blue Eye yet? If so, what did you think? Catzilla and I liked it. Cal Exit is complete in Vegas. See you there. See you in Vegas. Haven't seen it yet, but that is on my to-do list. There's certain things I have to watch with Mrs. Nerdrotic, and that is one of them. Watch RRR with her, that with her. Then we're going to watch 1857, whatever the fuck it is, and then 1923. Dummy test for 100 yen. If Hollywood producers see, I've been taking way too much time watching the Grand Tour. I'm just watching episode after episode. If Hollywood producers can see that the show is garbage, why are they investing more money? For what? Ego? Hubris? ESG? It's all bottom line. That's the problem. They don't watch it and they don't listen to us. It's only recently. That's a very recent phenomenon that the conversation of woke Hollywood failing has even started. I think that now that we aren't getting the upper hand, I think I described it. Our hand is raising to get the upper hand. And when I say "our," it's everybody with common sense, everybody in the middle who just hey, can we just enjoy shit again? Get off your platforms and stuff. The thing is, they really bought into these are platforms for influence, and then they just flooded the market. I've seen this happen 100 times in the comic book industry. Something successful, everybody copies it to death. They flood the market. People get burnt. So now it's happening in television. They have a means of getting stuff to you fast, too much of it, not releasing it weekly. That's why most streaming services release weekly now, because it makes more sense. And Netflix is unsustainable. But why do they keep funding it? Because the way they look at it, shit ain't that woke. And they don't watch it, and they don't really know. So they're taking the word of their middle management, who are mostly activists now. Golden BMXer for $10. What do you think a movie TV / show for the Shadow, the Phantom, or the Green Hornet would be a good idea for the future? I think those characters need some love. I agree. Just not now, because the Shadow, the Phantom, and the Green Hornet would all be black lesbians with the side of their head shaved. In the name of diversity. Hail Gary, I feel guilty for liking woke show I binged while I was sick last month. Lucifer, is this a condition, or should I consult a physician about it? You have a condition to go see your physician. Yes. Tad P. Castle, you were sick. Okay. Velma is great. Just waiting for the rest of the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, Gay Yogi and Boo Boo and Chinese Jabberjaw and transgender Captain Caveman. Right? From Nassau, Kiev. Pirate Queen for $4.99. Asheville is like San Fran and Austin. Oh, in North Carolina, where I'm going to go see Randall Carlson. So it's a college hippie town. Okay, that's fine. I can visit I can handle it for a couple days, but then I'll leave. Yeah, I saw a lot. I mean, I smelled some patchouli. I saw some man buns in Austin. I'm like, Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast for 665. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Fuck the OGL 2.0. Fuck the woke tards at Coast, and fuck has broken. Yeah, they keep, man, you poor D&D guys. Adam Ant said, recently discovered your channel. Thanks to Quarter Black Garrett. Keep up the great work. Oh, thanks. Cheers. We love QBG. Yeah, I think we're just finally like digging out of the holidays right now. I'm just like, all right, it's time to get back on it. Targo the White for $3. Gary, for your next gamer LARPing, try Vampire Survivors. Best value in all gaming. You only need a left joystick to play, and it's only $3 on Steam. What I need is time. What I need is a 30-hour day. A 30-hour day. Rex Rude 99 for $5. Gary, it was great seeing Shatner last night and then getting to shake your hand, and it was cool side bonus. Austin will grow on you, kind of like a rash, Rex. Now, I'm far enough away to not need to let it grow on me. I can. We made a very concerted effort not to move anywhere near Austin. Positive review bombing equals review fluffing, says R.E. Gatto for $4.99. Well said. Killian Whitman for $5.99. Greetings from Germany. Love your content. It's great for breakfast, working out of a home to relax, think, laugh, and return to your core. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed breakfast. I just had some a couple hours ago. It's 2:00 in the afternoon now. Andrew Stout for $5. Woke representation is our I've already read that one, right? I did. Unless you put it in twice. Sire Pete for New York for $19.99. I know you're not a fan of binge model. However, can it also be argued that these shows coming out every other year or 2 years also makes the binge model look worse than it might be? Yes. That's part of the binge model. You're right, Sir Pete, New York. It's the long break between shows. So you're binging all of these in a couple days, and then it's 2 years. So you're treating it like a movie, but the problem is you're not retaining it like a movie. A movie's 2.5 hours, 3 hours, if it's Avatar. But you retain it. You don't retain the 8 episodes you binged and fell asleep for 10 minutes, took a piss during other stuff. It doesn't feel right because we've been trained for so long to go weekly, and there's no reason not to do it because you can always binge when it's done. It's not like it disappears. So you have this, you release a show like Tulsa King released, I believe 22nd of November. It ended January 5th. You feel like you spent time with that character. You had time to talk about it, discuss it with a family member, watch it with somebody else, talk about it with your friends. That builds up interest in a show in a way a movie can't. We have accepted movies take years. For one, there used to not be sequels. There used to be just one movie and to be done. But with a TV series, you need to, it's what we do on I'm going to use I'm not going to use the C word. You need to develop a fan base, a fellowship, a group of people who are the base of all of your fans that are going to talk about this. And before social media, it was at work. With social media, it's on social media, and you can only do that by releasing it weekly. End of story. But now that we've seen it weekly, we're going to, the people who like Tulsa King are now going to go, hey, you should go see Tulsa King. I know there's 1,000 shows out there. It's on Paramount Plus, but it's got Sylvester Stallone. It's fucking good. So hopefully, and Tulsa King is not something that's going to take 2 years to make. They can have another Tulsa King out in a year, easy. But yeah, those 2-year breaks in between binge, like shows dropped all at once, are killers. Look at Doctor Who. Doctor Who released weekly. It took 2 years off a couple of times during the Capaldi run, or a year and a half, and it killed it. It kills the ratings. People just forget. Fantastic Mr. Game of Thrones managed for the first, 6 seasons to come out every year. It's because they didn't rely that much on CGI. They had a good crew, and they were filming multiple things all at once. They had a pretty good system going, right? But now everything's CGI. Like, I think House of the Dragon taking 2 years off is a huge mistake, massive mistake. I think Rings of Power taking 2 years off is good. Good for the world, good for humanity, good for creativity. And that gives us 2 years to maybe Amazon figures out that maybe we should make this shit. Fantastic Mr. Knox for $5 Australian. Words going around, season 2 of Velma is happening. Can't tell if it's true or not, but my goodness, hope it does, so it gets mocked even harder. What'll happen is it'll just be forgotten. And the only reason it's probably getting to season 2 is probably because the episode's already done. Jorgen Jorgensen, you are the hand chosen by the master. Hail. Naso Kashev for 5 Bulgarian pesos. I think Velma could be a start of the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. Waiting on Gay Yogi and Boo Boo. I've already read that one. Okay, here we go. Monkey God King for 5 Canadian pesos. Nah, Gary. Maybe, just maybe, all this woke garbage is actually just all of Mephisto's doing, right? Kang, Mephisto, Wanda, Mephisto, America Chavez. I know. Remember, Mephisto was supposed to be all part of WandaVision. It would have been way more exciting that way. But the showrunner, who is currently writing Agatha Harkness, hadn't heard of him. Dave Grimes, hail Gary. Here's a question for you. If Ant-Man was stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years, how did he not come across Kang or see half of what's in it? Well, I'm sure Michelle Pfeiffer not only had sex with Kane, knew about it, and just went, oh, I totally forgot there's this guy who can rewrite universes in the quantum verse. Oopsie doopsie. Opinionated Junkie for $2. MCU at peak. Ant-Man was lowest seller at the box office. Yes, it was. And now they're relying on it. And they're out there going, this is the most important MCU film of all time. If you don't see it, you might die. You might die. It is as important as Civil War, an Ant-Man movie with Kang. So count on Robert Downey Jr. or somebody showing up at the end. Rocker Rocket for $5. Justice has been blinded because there's too many dollar bills in the way. Yep. Nikhil Sai for 40 yen. Have you watched RRR? Not yet. Not yet. Crimson Eagle for $4.99. Just recently got back into gaming. If you keep going, I definitely recommend trying out the new Zelda games. I think you will have a blast. Love you, bud. Cheers. The next game I will be playing, and this will probably be like the sum of all the games I'll be playing, is Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy. I'll be playing that game because I'm a Harry Potter fan. Hail, Gary in chat. Have you ever seen Hangar 1? Great UFO alien doc about from MUFON. Tons of interesting episodes. I think you'd love it. Ocean's episode is yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen Hangar 1. Yes. It's like a series, right? Isn't it a series? The great Watubi for $5 says, I like Tulsa King. Thanks for the content, Garrett. Oh, I really like Tulsa King. Thanks for the content, Gary. Excellent. Nikhil Say, woke culture destroyed Bollywood, coming after other film industries 10 plus years in India by attacking RRR for getting an award, saying it is a fascist. Really? They just throw out the word fascist now. That's their new word. Gary, Juggernaut versus Sandman. Who you got? Ooh. Sandman. because he could just choke the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut gets more powerful the more momentum he gets, but Sandman could just burst into a cloud of sand and then just shove the sand in his nostrils and down his throat and just choke him to death. Do you ever the Shadowling one? Do you ever look at the second did I ever look at the second Puss in Boots movie? No, because my children are all grown up. Really good villain, excellent use of animation in the fight scenes. If they bring back Shrek, I might go back and check it out because I love Shrek. Sir Lopez for $5. Rings of Power season 2. You know they're gonna make Isildur and Sauron best friends because spoiler alert, he is still alive. Teenage drama cringe incoming. You're right, Sir Lopez. Yeah, I would not doubt that Isildur gets caught or some other shit, and they're gonna go, well, we just thought it was really in the spirit of Tolkien to have Isildur and Sauron be best friends, and then like do some weird Greek tragedy shit. Like, Gary, discovered you in February 2022. Wow. This year, I've decided to join the fight. Started my channel this week. I think you'll get a laugh. Shout out and hail, and that is Doey, Doey. Is that the name of your channel? Thank you for the $4.99. Anakwaman, abuser of Streamlabs for $20. Please tell Exodus Girl I'm sorry for eating the last slice of cheesecake out of the fridge. I was hungry, but there's no food in the crawl space above her bedroom. P.S. Ignore the rhythmic slapping sounds. That's just the AC. Oh my God. You know she's here, right? You know she's reading all of your super chats. She's here. Oh yeah, she's here. She can hear you. I've got one thing to say. Daniel Todd, $5. If you would like another documentary on the show, is Genesis History. It is a good one. I will check it out. Scott Fisher for $4.99. This is for Anakwaman, by the way. In the crawl space above X-Ray Girl's house after he took the last slice of cheesecake because he's watching her sleep, if you're not getting that. Yes, the Giants won. Also, Jennifer Lawrence was the first Giants quarterback on to Philly. This is Scott Fisher for $4.99. Hail. The Great Watubi for $6. Do you see Amazon's Peripheral? I thought it was Matt. Yeah. Peripheral comes from the same people who gave us Westworld. So fuck no, I wasn't going to touch that. Nick Bravo for $5. Can non-woke content succeed? Should I bother? Yes, absolutely. But like in what aspect? Like here or in Hollywood or in books? It will succeed in a fractured, decentralized entertainment, and I'll use it in air quotes, industry. Yes, because that's where it's headed. I don't see this great correction. I just see it fracturing, getting decentralized, which gives you more choices, which means people will have to try harder to get noticed, and they can't just rely on the gatekeepers in Hollywood to keep pushing out. I mean, this isn't the 20th century anymore. And Hollywood's finding that out. And part of being a celebrity nowadays means you need to be very savvy with the paying customer and the fan. All of them. All of them. And if you go out there with your woke bullshit based on bullet points from your assistant that they text you and misspelled everything, you're going to sound like more of an idiot than you actually are. And I'm talking about the Hollywood adult pretender. And your baseline is pretty idiotic. So just saying. Fifth Element. Did you mean Full Metal? No, I meant Fifth Element. I meant Fifth Element. Fifth Element, which is based on French comics. French comics. Which are superior to pretty much everything right now. Evil Housewife for $5. Broken Hollywood has gotten its hands on another old school comic IP. ElfQuest. Oh no, another childhood love dies. And that was like one of the oldest, longest running creator owned IPs for the longest time. How did they get? So yeah, that's interesting. Shadowling for $6.10. Do you ever look into the new Puss in Boots? Oh, I read that one already. Patrick Bond. Oh my God, how am I supposed to say this? Garicachurmuricuru. That's all. I can't even say that word. Parangaric. Fucking what is that word? Is that a word? Where's the pronunciation? Hang on. I'm going to look it up. Parangaricutimicuro. Dude, I might permanently damage my brain trying to pronounce that. I can't do that. Thank you though. I mean, worse than it is. American 300 for $4.99. Velma was hilarious, seeing how low humanity can go to produce brave and progressive trash had me rolling. Oh, dude, I think woke Hollywood has been fucking hilarious. I had so many laughs last year, and it's starting out great. We got Blood Origin, we got Willow, we got this, we got National Treasure. Now it is contrasted, with the two things that the first hour and 5 minutes of The Last of Us was I think objectively, that makes it subjective. So whatever. I liked it. I thought that was fine. I thought it was good. I'm not the biggest fan of the zombie genre. If it's post-apocalyptic, I'm cool with it if it's Mad Max and shit like that. But I think there's just way too much of it. I like to see something different. And as somebody who hasn't played the game, it tonally doesn't feel a lot different than The Walking Dead to me. At least the Walking Dead I watched was the first 5 seasons, and then I was out. Hey Gary, you're awesome. Now Bill Prime Gaming, you're awesome. I'm all right. I'm okay. My wife and family will be the judge of that after I'm dead. Judicon for $5. Hail Gary, I am convinced that once you start to watch Stargate History 1, you'll have said I should have watched it since day one. I said that about Farscape and Babylon 5, so I wouldn't be surprised. And I love those fucking shows. Farscape's in my top 5 all-time favorites. Infini Rua for $2 New Zealand dollars. We did eat other predators. Yeah, we did, but we didn't hunt them out of existence. Over 150 species were hunted out of existence by 100,000 people. So millions of species were hunted out of existence by a couple 100,000 people, 250,000 people. No fucking way. Plus, go watch the Joe Rogan interview with the Alaskan Boneyard guy. There is a 5-acre plot of land in Alaska, near Fairbanks, Alaska, that this guy's been excavating for 15 years. The company that owned it prior to that has been excavating for almost 100 years, and they have found hundreds of thousands of broken up little bones with meat still on them, tendons, under sometimes 20 to 30 feet of soot, which is also above 15 feet of gravel, which is also above a little bit of gold, which is why they were digging in the first place. What creates a situation where there's a layer of soot, a layer of gravel, and a layer of gold? H2O, water, lots of it. The creek that they're currently excavating around is about 15 feet wide, he said, but the river channel is a mile wide, which means at one point there was a mile wide worth of water flying down there, probably taking a bunch of mammoth and, oh, by the way, dire wolves who weren't supposed to be up in Alaska, short-faced bears who weren't supposed to be in Alaska, giant elk, all kinds of animals, and grounding them into fucking nothing, including the rocks, which turns into gravel. So I'm just saying there's enough evidence to maybe look into a catastrophe happening. Did men hunt mammoth? Yes, absolutely. There's evidence that men were hunting mammoth in San Diego, California. I might get this wrong. I think it's 54,000 years ago. So they found when they were Interstate 56, which was never fucking hate this. This freeway was supposed to connect 5 to 15. And it never did because the neighbors didn't want the freeway going, so it stopped. But while they were doing the freeway, they dug up a mammoth and they had to stop. And on this mammoth, on its bones, there are tool marks. The mammoth is fucking old. It predates Clovis and everything. And the guy got a bunch of fucking blowback. But there seems to be pretty good evidence. And these mammoth bones are on display, I think, in the Museum of Natural History in San Diego and Balboa Park. I'll even go there in February. I'll go there and check it out. But that mammoth proves, not beyond a shadow of a doubt, but pretty strong evidence that there were tools, which means there were men of some kind. Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, not sure how far back it goes. Hunting mammoth. Long before humans, because humans weren't supposed to be here in America prior to 13,000 years ago. That's turning out to be really wrong. It's called Clovis First, which they're not. Do you know Don Lawrence's comics, e.g. Storm series? The Storm series? I'd have to look. I didn't read everything. I couldn't read everything. There's so much. JVL for $1.90, but thank you for the 20 British pounds. Here, I'll look it up real quick. I got to go pretty soon. I've already gone way longer. Storm series on Lawrence. Everything about that sounds familiar. Oh, it's a fantasy series. Publication history. Done in the Storm. Been Swimming. 1976. Is it now? I've seen this before. Yeah. Oh, that art is cool as fuck. Yeah, I've seen this a long time ago. Oh, it's been running from 77 on. That's why. I have seen that before. Okay. JVL for $1.99. Keep up the good work talking about younger Dryas, etc. Sure. Oh, I won't stop. And it's just nothing's definitive. Not stating everything as facts. I'm just saying there's compelling enough evidence to look into all things. Yo, Gary, don't have time to watch the show today, but dropping into to say what's up. Watched Last Crusader last night. Remember when movies were good? I do. Thank you, Stephen the Way, for $4.99. Randeku for $4.99. Have you read Berserk? It is great dark fantasy manga. I have read it starting in 1989 and it's still going. Well, it's almost over because the author died, but I have it and I've read the first one and it's good. Dizek of the Dead for $4.99. Hi, Gary. I'm trying to hype myself up to sit through Velma to roast it for my channel. I don't drink or do drugs, so I'm going in raw. That's what I did. You just I'll say a serenity prayer before you go in. Tom Stringer for $2. Still trying for 1K subs. How long did it take you? I think it was 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years. I was working at Toyota. So it's 2016. Yeah, 2 years. But it was at the end of 2016. Yeah, 2 years. I'll say 2 years. Sebastian Annan for $20. Hey, Gary, something for you. Untitled Paranormal Show. Might be interesting to look at. There was going on with the Sirius star 12,000 years ago. Maybe reach out to Anton Petrov. He has a YouTube channel and has an astro background. I will. Michael Evans for $5. One Piece has well over 1,000 episodes and people still pick it up. We have a quality issue more than an oversaturation. Into the Wind for $2. Synthetic diesel from waste streams, sewage, is a better choice than batteries for renewable energy and vehicles. Cheaper waste disposal, and the fuel cost around $70 a barrel. I agree. We damage the earth quite a bit getting those batteries. I think listen. A Carrington event will put us back to the 1800s for 2 years. And a Carrington event could happen any moment. So we need to focus on protecting our electrical infrastructure more than taking away gas cars right now. because you're going to need that 2-stroke engine and that motorcycle that doesn't need anything other than to start, because that will be your mode of transportation if a Carrington event happens. And we won't be able to contact each other. The power will be out for 2 fucking years. And a lot of people will die. So it means bury everything. We got to bury everything. I know they're taking some steps to protect it now, but like, it doesn't seem to be a priority. What the fuck is wrong with Adam Sessler? He used to be a cool guy and became crazy, woke, wacko like Mark Hamill. No, always been that way. Just a fraud. Scott Fisher, $4.99. Ken of the North, $4.99. I think the announcement of the second season of Velma is just to keep people watching it, and I assume it's just going to be canceled. Or they already made the episodes and they're just splitting it in the two. But yes, announcing trilogies early and other, that is very much a System Bad reboot came up with keeping themselves in the game and keeping you interested. How many sequels? Shit. You know, even stuff I like. There was supposed to be a Bright sequel. Remember, they even came out with a video. They're going to be a Bright sequel. Never did it. Why do you want me to explain what Gundam means? Monkey God King for 5 Canadian pesos. Also, Gary, can you explain what Gundam means when he says that the entire MCU is out of order? He gets too mad to talk about it. LOL. No, that's exactly. So Warlock coming in now is like, I'm trying to think of an analogy in another story everybody's going to know, of an important character who comes in later. I mean, this isn't the best, but it's what I can come up with on the fly. It's like Luke Skywalker coming in after, Return of the Jedi. It's fucking stupid. It makes no sense. So bringing in Warlock now is pointless. Absolutely pointless. He is connected to the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones, which have now are paperweights in Loki, by the way. He's got the soul gem in his freaking head. Yeah, so it's completely out of order. They brought in She-Hulk too late. They brought in Ironheart and Miss Marvel. Well, they should never be brought in, but Ironheart, Miss Marvel, and America Chavez shouldn't even be there. There's other female characters you can bring in that are much better. Moondragon, there's 100 you can bring in. Crystal. All of wokeism culminates in a series, Velma, the self-insert of the writer as a wise man once said, they want you broke, dead, your kids draped, and they think it's funny, says Infinity Ryu for 10 New Zealand dollars. They have no sense of morality there. None. Absolutely none. Adam Warlock, who agrees with me, has donated £1 British. Thank you. Naso Chavez for 5 Bulgarian pesos. By any chance, one of the animals that was hunted out by Tobey Maguire was Tobey Maguire's dick. Hang on. I'm getting there. I've got too many clips.
Toby, and the light source is hitting the right side of his face. And I can't believe I'm about to say this. I never thought I would say this in my entire online career. But look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick. Look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick. I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Gary, the eruption of Mount Toba in the East Indies about 74,000 years ago killed almost all of humanity, explains lack of genetic diversity. There was a bottleneck. they called a bottleneck back then. But like Cro-Magnon still survived, Neanderthal still survived. So they're finding out that there wasn't as much of a bottleneck, but it was still very low, 100,000 people. But they're also saying that the Younger Dryas, there wasn't that many people around either. We've almost died a couple of times, and there's been there was a huge volcano that went off 50,000 years ago in Washington. That even Native Americans talked about, like where tribes had moved east to Ohio because of that volcano. But Randall thinks that a lot of the volcano, even the volcanism we have today, is still left over from the Earth getting pummeled 12,000 years ago, because there is evidence of other stuff happening at the same time on the other side of the planet. When for example, he was talking about the Chicxulub crater, the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, hit the Yucatan Peninsula on the other side around the same time, possibly. That's where in India, there's the Deccan Traps, which are it was basically the Earth opening up and belching out freaking lava with poisonous gas. And that could be a result of an impact. Like that could do it. Not necessarily proven or anything. It's just a thought. Jaffo the Bound for $4.99. Any chance you're going to have Bill Whittle on your show and his sci-fi animated series he's making called The Colonies? Maybe, yeah. Jermakunis for $2. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Omega Art Games for $2. Why do Marvel have problem with Morgan Stark? Marvel sucks. They don't exist anymore. They're dead. They died in 2009 when Disney bought them. I sent you an email yesterday about trolling Eminem's latest woke stunt. Unfortunately, I didn't realize yesterday that was the last day for others to do it. Oh, I didn't know. I think you get a kick out of the pics I sent. I will check them out. Thank you. Matt Guy for $2. When are we getting a Babylon 5 review, Gary? Eventually. I did some on BBC. I've got a list of things to do that I will hopefully get to before I die. I'll just say that. Hail, Gary, this is for you being a bearded, for being bearded in the dark. Bearded in the dark. Bearded in the dark. Hollywood, try not to hate your audience. Challenge. Impossible, says Good Wrench for $5. I know. I said that at one. I'm like, I think back in 2018, I'm like, Hollywood. Slow down. Go 6 months without insulting anybody in the audience or talking about politics. Just go 6 months. 6 months. And things might get better. Nope. Double, triple, quadruple down, and they're fucked now. Rock Man, Paper Man, or Scissor Man? Rockman. Master Gary, hello there. Have you watched Ted Lasso on Apple TV? I do not subscribe to Apple TV. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, Velma with no Scooby show is dog shit, and it doesn't even have a dog, says Foo Fighter for $9.99. I know, right? I'd have to Tortuga that, because I will not subscribe to Apple. I fucking hate Apple. Gary, did you watch 9 or 10 episodes of Tulsa King? Because the last episode aired yesterday. What? No, it was only supposed to have 9. It has 10? No shit. I thought that was a good ending. So Mario Spana, my wife and I were watching it, and I Googled it, and it said it had 10 episodes. So I'm like, oh, there's another one next week. But then another article said there's only 9, and that was the finale. I'm like, well, so if that was the finale, that would have been fucking great. So there's one more episode. Outstanding. I'm so excited. So I'll watch it. She'll be stoked. Unless, of course, that episode like completely destroys the series. JDA for $5. I still have my beef. Okay, so for those of you who watched it, the Fed girl, the ATF girl, got $1 million from Sylvester Stallone, but then had him arrested for after he opened up his bar in the casino, had him arrested for bribing an agent, and he was taken away in front of his daughter after his daughter's finally talking to him again. And I thought, well, that was a pretty good place to end it. But there's one more episode. There you go. I still have my B5 shirt thrown to my GMS at the 92 San Diego Comic Convention. Oh, those were the days. Although I wasn't at that one because I was locked up. This was before a pilot premiered, and all we got was teasers of Starlog. I gotta find my Starlog magazines. I still have them. Jonah Naxus for $20. Hey, Gary, thought about Sunday show name. Frontier's Edge works on another level because the initials FE is also the periodic table for elements of iron. You talk a lot about being from the Iron Age merch. Yes, but I don't like that's Razor Fist. That belongs to Razor Fist. That is cool, though. And that is our backup if somebody else is using it and has trademarked it and stuff. Okay. This was only supposed to be an hour. I've really got to go because I've got to record. Wait, no. Paleo 74 FL6 for $4.99. Hey, Gary, I am a Highlander and I was born in caveman times. I can confirm that you're right about everything. Thank you. I don't need to be right about everything. But now I've really got to go. You guys are awesome. Thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks to X-Ray Girl for helping out in the background and listening to all your dirty things about. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for everyone who decided to wait to feed the ducks till after the show. And we will be live on Az's channel tomorrow for the real BBC. And then back here with Chris Gore on Wednesday, where I can talk about RRR. And then Friday, we have guests. I forgot who the guests are, but we've got guests. Oh, Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash is going to be on Friday Night Tights. So I'm going to be working on this video for the rest of the day. And half my day is gone. So shit, I got to get going. Last of Us, first hour and 5 minutes. Good, fine, good. Not my favorite genre. Don't give a crap about the game. Entertaining. I could see myself getting bored with it real fucking easy. But I can see people liking it if they stay on this road. But is there potential for it to get woke? Sure, everything. Yeah, absolutely everything. But Tulsa King is the shit. Watch Tulsa King. Watch Tulsa King. That is the shit. Velma is garbage. And there'll be a video coming out soon. Kakashi Murder Dolls is shipping on Indiegogo. There you go. Conquest Comics. $5 Australian. Cheers. It's Kakashi Murder. I hope I said that right. Kakashi Murder Dolls is shipping on Indiegogo. Cheers, man. All right. Everybody have a good day. Hail to you all. Be good to each other. And don't put up with any shit.